I'm Hap Rocketto. I'm the adjutant of the 2017 United States Roberts team, and I'm from Westerly, Rhode Island. I'm essentially the logistics officer for this group. My job is to get them where they have to go, when they have to go, with what they need to do what they need to do. Sometimes it's a bit like herding cats, but other than that, it's been very good. Everyone's been terribly cooperative. You always get a little tiny bit of friction with 40 people over this period of time, but by and large, it's been pretty easy. Well, I think I'm more involved in I'm involved in, for example, our domestic and international transportation. I was involved in getting all our firearms permits, our housing, and things like that. Whereas Keith is local, and most of the people know kind of what's going on here, and that flows a little easier for him. But that's no problem. It's a different kind of logistical job. No, it's just some stuff is just a little different, that's all, and a little more patience to get it done. And of course, with a 5-hour time difference, contacting people and emailing and phone calls, that made it a little more difficult, but it was nothing insurmountable. I've been living with this for about 2 years. 18 months, and then the last 12 months have been very intense, because that's when everything comes together. Our team selection was about a year ago. Once I had the names and the bodies to put together, then I had to make arrangements for people to get to where they're coming from. One of our shooters comes from Hawaii, for example, and one comes right from the Washington, D.C. area. So I had people coming from 0 to 6,000 miles to get all to one airport at one time and out together. And then, of course, some people were staying later to tour, so I had to make arrangements for that. And one person came in a week early, so I had to make arrangements for that. So it's been a lot of fun. There are 15 people on the Roberts team, of which 10 will be shooting. The rest will be coaching staff. We have 6 girls for the Randall program, and we have 4 independent riflemen. No, this is a different kind of shooting. Olympic shooting is controlled by the International Shooting Sports Federation. This is a more localized country-level type shooting. The United States and Great Britain have 2 different kind of parallel shooting programs. This is what we call conventional shooting as opposed to international shooting, which is the Olympic style shooting. It's a different target, actually, and some different rules. The United States started small bore shooting in 1919, and it was strongly influenced by what was then the Miniature Rifle Club Association of Great Britain. And we actually molded our program on the British program, and there's a gentleman named Nesbitt who helped us set it up back in 1919. And we've been cooperating off and on. We use a lot of the British techniques, and we've learned a great deal from the British, and our programs are almost identical, the difference being targets, for example, and some basic rules and things like that. This competition itself actually started in 1931, and then has continued since. Marmite. I have a great deal. I understand that you either like it or don't, and I fall into the second category. Someone says you have to spread it very thinly on your toast, and I don't think you can spread it that thin. But it's very similar. There are little ticks and bumps that are slightly different because your rules are a little bit different here and there. For example, before we shoot, we have a 3-minute preparation period to get all ready, and then we have 20 minutes to shoot our 20 shots. And here you have 20 minutes. So when the hooter goes off, you get into your equipment and start shooting. That's a little bit different, but essentially it's the same sport. My wife would say I'm too stupid to learn anything new, but in reality, I like the sport because it's an internal kind of sport. I have to accept all responsibility for everything I do. I can't say I got a bad pass. I can't say, well, the team was a little stronger than I was, because everybody's equal. One of the beauties of this sport is it does not discriminate between male and female, able or disabled, young or old. Everybody competes on pretty much a level playing field, and that means a lot to me. Because, I mean, I've been beaten by people 30 years younger than me and 30 years older than me, and that means a lot. It's a sport for a lifetime. I've been doing this since 1961, and so over 55 some odd years. Actually, being the adjutant of 3 teams, I've been to Roberts twice, and I've been to the Pershing once, which is the American equivalent of the Roberts team. I've been lucky enough to win a couple of national championships in my age group. Not that great, but in my age group. And the real thing is I've got some lifelong friends and a lifelong hobby that has just enriched my life. It's tough. It's always tough here because you have a better concept of the conditions than we do. Our team has actually been shooting a little better than the British team this week, but that doesn't make any difference till we get to the line because it's a brand new ball game. Well, I think most of what we wanted to do has been accomplished. Everyone came here, had a good time. A lot of people won some things. We're taking away A lot of us have renewed old friendships, and a lot of us have made new friendships. And in 4 years, we're looking forward to hosting the British team when it comes to the United States and trying to outdo them in hospitality, which is getting more and more difficult. The NSRA has been great, and I find them particularly hardworking because they're a smaller group than we are. In the United States, our shooting association has approximately 5 million members, and the NSRA is considerably smaller, yet you would not think there was any difference with the effort that they put out in running a fine tournament and making us feel like we've been here forever. How we interact with other shooting organizations has been a big topic because we've been having some similar problems back in our country. How you want to grow the sport, how you can get more juniors interested in the sport, how you've been doing, what's the new equipment, are you getting decent ammunition? And we're a little envious because one of the best ammunitions is made here. And so we always think that you guys get the first good lots and we don't, but that's beside the point. It's just general shooter talk. It's like any sports group sitting around spinning tails and enjoying each other's company. I'm just overwhelmed by the hospitality and the good sportsmanship and the fine people we come across. That tends to be a hallmark of shooting sports. During this entire 11 or 12 days we're here, we're only going to be fierce. We're only going to be angry with each other for about an hour during the course of that match. And once the match is over, no matter what the results are, we're having dinner tonight, we're having dinner tomorrow night.